Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to another adventure of catching up with the Tolberts. Yes, I call it an adventure for the simple fact that anytime you are with these two amazing counselors, you just have no idea what's going to transpire. So I just jump in and say, hey, let's catch up with the Tolberts. For those of you who don't know, this amazing husband and wife team are here in the beautiful city of Gary, Indiana, servicing clients and also constantly giving back to the community. How are you, counselors?
Doing great. God is good.
Yes, He is. Thank you for having me on a Friday morning. Your team had given me some alternate dates that were later in the month, and I was like, no. I got to get as close as I can on this calendar so that we can talk about all the amazing things. And I want to start with our road trip. We went to Indianapolis, and so many were able to see you be honored as a Hoosier Business in Action. Shalice?
That was definitely a blessing. Thank you for going with us. I appreciate that. But that was a blessing that we did not expect at all for the inaugural initiative and class of it. And we just, we thank Senator Melton for making us aware of it, and I believe he nominated us.
Okay.
And then Kara Herring is doing a great job with the governor's office, heading up that department, and Kara, we've known her for years. She's special. But that was just something that, we thank God for.
And just to add on to that, as far as the Hoosier Business in Action, it was one of those initiatives developed out of the governor's office to shine a light, if you will, and expound on the importance of supporting small businesses and what they are doing across the state. Can you elaborate, Counselor?
No, not to reiterate what Shalisa said, but we give honor to God because without Him, none of what we do would be possible. So it was just good to to put God and the things that He can do for your business when you incorporate Him. To put Him really first and to put a spotlight on Him, because that's what we're here about, and we just want to congratulate all the other inductees.
Yes.
We're always so happy when we see other Gary businesses that are spotlighted. So shout out to Jay's Breakfast Club. We're very happy to see a very familiar face there. And we were just honored to be there. Sometimes we had to put on some good clothes.
Yes,
and go down to Indianapolis, and go into a different environment. And it was real nice to be in Indy. I love Indianapolis and just going outside of our normal comfort zone.
And it was a nice venue too.
It was
we were in
beautiful.
the Indiana State Museum.
Yes.
Very jazzy and classy. So I was like, thanks for the invite. And I was just like you. I was extremely proud to have not one but two Gary businesses to be lauded, but also to have the eyes of the state on what's going on here in Northwest Indiana.
Absolutely. Shout out to the governor. Shout out to Governor Holcomb and Kara Herring for just putting on such a beautiful initiative and spotlighting small minority businesses, because there were a lot of great minority businesses that were represented. I saw Tamika Catchings.
Yes.
I saw Tamika.
I didn't know
and
she
her
had
birthday
a
was
business.
like the next day.
Yeah, so
she's down there now.
Down there, yeah.
I asked her, I was like, do you want to hoop? She was like, I'm a little scared because I heard you got game.
That was not.
Is that what she said?
No,
Is that how it happened?
No.
I think I walked off to go get some
Yeah,
winners.
she
That's
had
about
on flats
it.
and she was taller than Michael. I was
She sure
like,
was.
wow.
Yes, but it was just amazing to see. But it just goes to show that these are the rooms that you rightfully belong in, based on the work that you've done and the commitment to your community. And so this is the award right here. We have it right in the middle because neither one wanted to take on this because it's a shared effort. So we put it right here in the middle. Congratulations. Now, last thing about Hoosier.
Before you go on, we want to thank you for all you do for us. You know what? We told you about the event and you just went down there at the drop of a hat. You drove down there, and we are so honored and blessed to have you and your team with us. So
thank you. I had a great time and got a chance to see some friends while I was there. So
cool.
It was an adventure, like I always say about you all. But I wanted to know, in addition to the honor, they called you a cohort, so is there something else that goes along with it as far as requirements as a Hoosier Business in Action? I wasn't sure.
It's my understanding that there will be some type of video done spotlighting our business, and from there I'm not sure exactly what happens.
Okay.
I saw some emails come through where it sounds like there's going to be probably annual programming.
Okay.
For the businesses that are honored, like support, market. They're already doing free marketing for us. So that's just really a blessing. We're
Good.
so happy to be a part of that.
All right. Well, you all are definitely business in action, a business in action. Shalice, so you got a chance to head on down south for a little while. We teased it on the last show about going to Memphis and being nominated by the women in law from the bar.
Yes. So
Yes.
The NBA, National Bar Association,
Yes.
which is the National Bar Association for African American attorneys. Our local bar for African American attorneys, the James C. Kimbrough Bar Association, nominated me in the category of small firm and solo attorneys for the Women in Law Division Awards, and it was the 50th anniversary of that division as well, which was great because not only was it just an award ceremony, but celebrating 50 years of black women being involved in this national organization, and they had some of the founders of that committee there. 4 of them were there, and it's just I love to see things like that, history, and witness that. But it was 185 degrees in Memphis.
Oh, goodness.
It was.
Wow.
I didn't go anywhere but from the hotel to the convention center,
And
which
back.
had a walkway.
Okay.
But, it was actually, we had some great representation from Indiana that were nominated. Our very own city court judge, Deidre Monroe, was nominated.
Okay.
We also had one of our prosecutors from the Lake County Prosecutor's Office, Brandy Darling, was nominated in the public sector.
All right, Brandy.
And then there were 2 more from Indianapolis. Attorney Katie Jackson Lindsay, who actually won the award for the category she and I were in, solo and small firms, and Judge, my soror, Tanya Pratt, from the Southern District Federal Court, the first African American and African American female appointed to that position. So Indiana was strong in the nominees.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, while you weren't victorious, you already know how we feel about you. We're like, you won before you even got on the plane. So let's just do that real quick. But I'm sure the networking and the connections and everything
Absolutely.
is crazy. And you got to just tout Gary, right?
It's great. And I don't, I thank God for recognition and accolades, but I don't, that's not me. I don't care about that kind of stuff in the sense of that I'm chasing it or I feel bad when I don't win. But I thank God for even my peers thinking that much of me to nominate me. And to get there, and this was my first time going to the National Bar Association conference, and it was good to see a lot of people that did what I did, look like us, and to make those connections. And then there was something that was even more special on top of it, is that the Deltas in Memphis hosted a luncheon for the Deltas that were attending, that were attorneys.
How thoughtful.
So yeah, that was great. And I caught up with a high school classmate that's also a Delta that practices in Indianapolis. So it was good.
It was
networking.
worth the trip.
Yeah. So.
And Michael survived.
You know, I think
right.
I prepared them. Kept food in the house, but I don't know. You know
3
how
whole
he
days.
does. Was he out there on the corner selling incense, talking about we'll sell this for food?
I don't know. You made it.
I made it.
Okay,
It was
good.
tough.
No, I
It was tough.
know.
The food almost ran out.
Oh,
But I made
In
it.
3 days.
if you're just tuning in, what are you watching? We're catching up with the Tolberts, and again, congratulations, Shalice.
Thank
I was
you.
just, so proud to know that you are again in those spaces, those circles, representing us, and you all both always represent us and are quick to tell people where you're from, and I just love that. Now let's shift lanes, because you all have dropped not 1 but 2 podcasts since we last connected. So you all are really getting into this whole podcast thing. Now the one that we were talking about before we went live,
Oh, Lord.
I may not be quoting the title totally correctly, but the whole overarching subject is when you're just too sexy in the workplace and people want you, and how do you handle that as a married couple? It's a hilarious
You wanna
podcast.
tell them the title, please?
Yes,
Tell them, why don't I show? Stand up, girl. Let me show them what you got on right now. Show them the dress you have on right now. This is the
Stand
perfect.
See what I'm saying?
The title was Indecent Proposal.
Indecent Proposal.
When your partner is too damn sexy.
And she don't want to
Who
stand
came up
up
with that?
because she got on an in vogue dress.
I do not have on
Right.
an Vogue dress. I have on a nice yellow summer
Sundress. It's very nice.
Thank you.
But in his mind, as your husband, it kind of wanders off. But the premise of the podcast, if I may, was just to talk about how when you're in business together, sometimes clients may want to approach one or the other of the two, have a preference of working with one or the other, may have a subtle attraction or maybe blatant attraction.
That's right.
And you all talked about how you navigated those waters or navigate.
Yeah, well, and it's hard working with somebody that look like that, because she fine, y'all, so there's people that always, trying to talk to her and, but.
Weird.
She said when.
This is the podcast all over again.
Oh, it is.
Yes, it is. So go ahead.
No, but we wanted to give some really good, helpful tips just because in corporate America, sometimes people want to give you business for the wrong reasons. So there's this constant balance that you have to run your business, but at the same time, you have to protect your spouse or protect your partner or whoever you're with. But sometimes that can be very difficult, especially when it's like $1 million.
Right, that's the part, that part.
Apparently, when 7 figures are involved, I'll be put out there.
Yeah, you're out there. You have to watch or listen to the podcast. Shalice, where can they find it?
The podcast can be found on our YouTube channel, Married People's Business, or on Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can listen to it on Google Podcasts and Amazon Music.
They're everywhere, and it is hilarious. And so for me, I listened to that one on the way back from Indianapolis, and it was a nice, fun, funny drive. And I was like, those two. Now, there's another one that more recently dropped talking about health tips.
Yes.
Now, I haven't caught that one yet, so that's my weekend watch. So give me a teaser on that one.
We actually just did that one this past weekend, released it Tuesday, with doctors Roland and Chantel Walker out of Gary, Indiana, Walker Medical. They are pediatricians, and they give us 3 ways to keep your family healthy, particularly in this COVID environment and what we're hearing now about monkeypox. So, but they are hilarious too.
I'm sure.
They
I
are
know
very
them, and yes, they are. And I went to middle school with Roland. It's just so cool to know people from childhood and then say, now you're the health commissioner.
Oh,
things
yeah,
like,
that's right.
it's like, but we were at Charleston together. And they too are an example of couples who are in the area, stayed home and went away to school, came back, and are thriving here in the community. So make sure you catch those 2 podcasts. So most recently, let's switch lanes for philanthropy. We came together and had a meeting regarding UNCF. You were in Memphis, but you still chimed in on the meeting, and so we're getting ready to do some things. Madam Chairman, what's going on with our UNCF chapter?
So we will have more details to come, but save the date. We've got the UNCF walk on September 17th. So we hope to be keeping this as an annual event with WLTH. There are talks of partnering again with doing that with them, and Natalie Ammons over there. So as we finalize things, we will have more details to come. But that's been a fun event for the last 2 years, and it's getting bigger and bigger. We get vendors out there. We got line dancing. We got exercising. I got some nice sunglasses one year. Just all kinds of vendors out there. So it's all for a good cause to continue to support our students, particularly coming off of this pandemic time where we've not really been able to have a lot in person with our fundraisers for scholarship.
Right.
But it's definitely a good summertime activity, and once we have more details on that, you'll definitely know about it and keep your eyes open.
All right, that's September 17th. I can't wait. Michael, what's on your nonprofit front? Anything going on with the Kappas or the Bar Association, Indiana State Bar? What's next for you coming up into the fall?
Well, things are a little quiet right now, but we, the firm did just make a pretty nice donation to Schuler Stable, the boxing clinic.
Okay.
We have a picture in back of us from last year when we donated. That's a boxing camp for kids here in Gary, so we made another donation to them. I love boxing, so anytime kids need help financially with training, boxing training, we're always going to do that. So that was the most recent thing we did, but we always got things coming up down the line. I'm sure there will be more things to report.
Yes, and I always, always, always have to close out the show where one of you or both of you explain the type of law, because I never fails. Somebody calls me like, "Can you call Shalice? Tell her I'm in trouble. Call Michael. Somebody needs to save me." And I'm like, I don't know if they do that kind of law. So if you're in trouble, tell them what you do.
Okay, I think the easiest way to describe it is to say what we don't do first.
Okay.
So we do not, we don't practice criminal law. So if you got a charge or some problems criminally, we don't do any criminal work. We refer all of that work out. Now, if you do have issues there, we can find a good referral for you. So we can serve as a referral source. And we don't do family law.
Okay.
So if you need a referral source in the family law sector, we can provide that to you as well. But what we do engage in is we're a litigation boutique firm. So we do complex litigation. So that involves personal injury work. That involves representing businesses. So we do a lot of insurance work, insurance defense work. And we do some small business consultation work. So if you need an LLC or if you need some governance documents drafted for your company, we can do that for you as well.
Okay. Any big trials coming up? They both said. That's their trial. Like,
you know what? We the next trial I have coming up is in November.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the next one that we have coming up. So.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
sounds great. I think you all have. Do we have an anniversary coming up soon in September?
Yes, you do.
See, see, I remember things about the
I'm
Tolberts.
glad you remember.
See what I'm saying?
Man,
How
I
many
got
years?
something.
And I'm not done right.
You got a month.
You got a month to get going. You're welcome.
She was worked for
I'm
what we
on
paid.
it. I'm on it.
But I gotta send out a little special shout out and little preview. My little sister, as she says, I'm always saying little sister. My sister Alicia, her birthday is tomorrow.
Oh,
So
yeah.
happy birthday,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday, Alicia.
Happy birthday.
She will be older than what I want her to be.
Oh, because they're gonna always be young in our eyes.
Yeah,
our
she's
little
still 12 in my eyes.
Oh,
but,
wow.
But she's a grown woman. She's doing her things in Indianapolis. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, little sis, and I hope she totally enjoys. So, school is getting ready to start. Believe it or not, August 9th for the Gary schools in particular.
Oh, wow.
I would like to close this segment today with each one of you giving some words of advice to the children who are headed back to school for the school year. Let's encourage and uplift. Starting with you, Mrs. Tolbert.
Well, definitely take your education take it in stride. Know that you can't replace education. So understand that what you're doing is going to always benefit you. Also have fun and enjoy it.
Okay, back to school. Counselor?
I would say keep God first. With God, everything and all things are possible. And work hard. There is no substitution for hard work.
Oh, and that's a word. You have been tuned in to Catching Up with the Tolberts. I've been your host, Chelsea Whittington. Make sure you go to their website, tolbertlegal.com,
That's right.
and Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Everybody have an amazing Friday, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Take care. Thanks for tuning in.